Wait, you're a Bears fan and you're not subscribed to my channel? Before this video starts, make sure to 1. Hit the subscribe button below to catch all Bears content right here on this podcast. 2. Hit the bell notification because you, my friend, are a diehard Bears fan. And 3. Like this video and tell all the Bears fans you know about the channel. Alright, that's better. Now that you're actually subscribed to the channel, make sure to bear down and enjoy this video.
You're listening to Keek on the Mic. Keek on the Mic. A podcast all about the Chicago Bears. This podcast starts right now. Keek on the Mic.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Before I get this episode started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram page at Keek on the Mic. Make sure you share this podcast with all the Bears fans that you know, and you'll also be able to listen to this episode of Keek on the Mic on Apple Podcasts. So, I was super excited to do this topic on the podcast. And the only reason I am doing this because, one, I had a conversation with my buddy, and it didn't really bother me, but it was a good conversation. And 2, the Hall of Fame class for the class of 2021 was just announced. So now there is a certain person next year that is finally eligible in 2022, and that is Mr. Devin Hester. So the simple question for today's episode is, should Devin Hester be a first ballot Hall of Famer? There's a difference between being a Hall of Famer and then being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Should Devin Hester be a first ballot Hall of Famer? So let me start out by telling you guys the conversation I had with one of my buddies. We were working out and we got into the conversation. I asked him straight up, do you think Devin Hester should be a first ballot Hall of Famer? He paused and I said, Hey, bro, why are you pausing? And he's like, well, I'm not sure if he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I said, put it in this perspective. We're not looking at Devin Hester as a wide receiver. We are looking at him as a return specialist. If you're just looking at him as a wide receiver, then you may say, no, he shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm just trying to break it down and just say, Devin Hester is a first ballot Hall of Famer as a return specialist. He takes a step back and he's like, you know what, Bubba? That makes a lot of sense. If you're just looking at him as a return specialist, he is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. He then went home and he was talking to another one of his buddies and he asked him the same question. He said, do you think Devin Hester is a first ballot Hall of Famer? He pauses. And once again, my buddy told the same thing he told to his friend. Don't look at him as a wide receiver. Look at him as a return specialist. My buddy then turns on tape for his friend, and after watching Devin Hester's all-time tape, he said, absolutely yes, Devin Hester is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Surprisingly enough, there are some people, some naysayers out there that think Devin Hester shouldn't be a Hall of Famer because he was technically a wide receiver. But like I keep repeating, I sound like a broken record. We're not looking at Devin Hester as a freaking wide receiver. We're looking at Devin Hester as a return specialist, a guy that changed the game in a huge way. And honestly, if you think Devin Hester shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer as a return specialist, what the hell were you watching? I know I can sit here and say, yes, and all the Bears fans that were going to comment on this video are going to say, yes, we're Bears fans. Of course we want another Chicago Bear to be in the Hall of Fame. But damn, being a Bears fan right now, we're talking about an all-time great as a return specialist. If you did not watch Devin Hester's game and you can't witness greatness, what in the hell is wrong with you? Devin Hester is a clear first ballot Hall of Famer as long as you say that it's for as a return specialist. So the cool thing about Devin Hester is if he made it as a first ballot Hall of Famer, he would become the first Hall of Famer that would be a return specialist and a first ballot Hall of Famer to be a return specialist. So it would be a huge honor for him, and obviously it would be a huge honor to add to the long list of Bears Hall of Famers. So I just wanted to go over a list of career accomplishments for Devin Hester real quick. In Hester's 11-year career, he was an all-pro punt returner 3 times. In 2013, he rushed for 1,436 kick return yards. Hester finished with an NFL record 7,333 kick return yards, 3,695 punt return yards, 14 punt return touchdowns, and 5 kick return touchdowns. But there is one play, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this. There was one play where I feel like he sealed his place in Canton, a play that lives on in Super Bowl history until this day. When the Bears played the Colts back in 2007, and the Colts on the other sideline had an all-time great Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning, the superstar quarterback for the Colts. Devin Hester stole the show and returned the opening kickoff to the house to give the Bears an early 7-0 lead. Obviously, the Chicago Bears did not win that Super Bowl. But that play that Devin Hester made still lives on and is probably one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. The greatest play in Super Bowl history. I would say one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. It's clear to me that Devin Hester is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Some people may disagree with me. Some people may agree with me. But all I know, I didn't want to come here and just rant for you guys. But to me, Devin Hester is clearly a first-ballot Hall of Famer. So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that Devin Hester is a first-ballot Hall of Famer? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we end this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram at KeekOnTheMic. Make sure you share this podcast with all the Bears fans that you know, and you'll also be able to listen to this episode of Keek on the Mic on Apple Podcasts. But other than that, I'll catch you guys for all new Bears episode right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys.
This is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan. That boy is Benny Hunter. Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic, Keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. You talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.